everybody. So very quickly, we did a recap on Aussie dollar yesterday. So just to confirm that our analysis are top notch and they are really hitting the mark. Okay, now I will be doing this very quickly to also give a preview of what happened last weekend, what we expected to happen this coming week on Aussie dollar and New Zealand dollar. So very quickly now, see the chart before us is Aussie dollar, and let me zoom. I'll zoom out now, so it becomes very big kind of. So this is 4 hours time frame. This is actually what happened. What we'll try to impact here is that we want to know how we approach the market. What's our confidence when it comes to when to buy, where to exit the market, or where to enter the market. These three things are key factor. You need to envisage your market. You need to look at the market. What direction is the market? Okay, so how do I now position myself? What should I do? What should I expect? Very simple. At this very part, at the top of the market for me, you could see that there has been a lot of resistance over here. Okay, the resistance has been on this level. You could see a lot of rejections on 4 hours. Now we want to say, okay, we want to maintain one strategy for every pair in the market. Same strategy, same way of approaching the market, but allowing the market also tell us what to do and the best time we can, go into a trade. So like you can see here, our trend line has been broken. We talked about counter trade, talking about the strength of a counter trade. At this point, you can see that from this very level here that was serving as a support to this present market, we see that this trend line has been broken. Now if I also take another trend line to the top side, we're always having a kind of channel here. We can see having a channel kind of angle in this place. So now we have resistance here, but we're looking at where we should have entered the market. Okay, so when this trend line broke, what were we looking for? We're looking for a retest. We take this support line, horizontal line, to this level. This same level was about where the last 100 hits. Our Fibonacci will be helping us to do this now. This market, first of all, came down to this level, got down to this, making a second bottom touch. That is because there was already a kind of demand zone here. Okay, a little demand zone was already at this point. So coming back to this point here now respected the previous event that has happened or occurred in the market. This is actually how we look at when things we look out for when we're analyzing any market. It does not take you even up to 10 minutes. You should be able to spot out the direction the market is about to go next. Alright, so now that this market has already moved but could no longer hit the previous height, automatically at this point now we're not having what is known as higher low, lower low. Now I waited for the retest of this previous low here. At the point I took my Fibo from the tip here. Now I want to sell. Since we are selling this market, okay, I took my Fibo from the origin from the origin, which is at 0, and I brought it to this previous point that has been reached, that made up the 100%. Do you understand? And at this point now, that made up 100%, let me still zoom out so we can see it very clearly. At this point that made up 100%, like you see from here, at the point here that made up 100%, now what I was waiting for was the retest of this whole market. Now don't forget, we're having a bullish candle here. Yeah, that was actually what signified that it was actually retracing. But on getting to this level, the retracement got stopped between the 50 and 61.8 zone, and immediately it was hitting that point of 61.8 zone. That was where I took off the trade, and I tell you, I made a good profit from it. Alright, though that was the closing of the market, so the market didn't really trade long, but I was able to take away with about 40 pips. 40 pips, which one standard lot size, 40 pips is about $400. You understand? So same concept. Now I waited for a retest. I looked at my resistance level. I was able to spot out my resistance level. Now I was able to spot out the winds, the direction of the market. Secondly, okay, I spotted out the direction of the market. I checked the flow, giving me a kind of a higher, okay, I think with the help of this trend, let me take away this fib right now. From here, I spotted that this market has calmed down a little. Then it went up, but could not get to that top where it got before. I was still patient waiting. You see these two top now, they are not the same. So even if I'm to take back this one to reverse it another way around, you would see now that this very top, they are not the same thing. So this again is giving me my trend touches. Aside the channel that was formed, I've already gotten another significant touch. So even if I brought fib is only just there to give me a proper retracement height that has been made, or where I'm expecting to take up the next retracement and continue the move. So I waited. Now I was waiting for the continuation. So look out for these moves. When you're in the markets, always look out for this move. I waited till this very point. Now I started seeing rejections. It was from here when I had my higher low, lower low here, and I noticed, okay, fine, this market is stocking in this very place. It's stocking right here. Immediately I smashed the market. Going to the history, this was exactly where I entered the market, and I left at this point because it was late, so I don't want to carry over the market to the next week. But I'm still looking for another entering opportunity about this level. Same strategy across all pairs. You don't need to start doing what is known as analysis paralysis, where you want to try out everything. Everything may not work. Just look for one thing and hold on to it. Over time, you're consistent, you make profits. Consistency is the main key, but you must learn the skill. Even when you want to be consistent, there's no how you want to be consistent without learning the skills or being able to spot out the least things, the things you should be seeing in the market. So we're expecting that this market may just likely retrace little to above, likely to retrace between this level here. Yeah, Monday morning market on the Asia time is very crazy. So I would have trade stop in order to just lock my profit, but I closed knowing full well that other opportunities will come by. So this was my analysis. Now what I'm expecting for this market to do finally is this. Since it has come to this level, now, I'm just looking at it that okay, it will just go to this level and retrace back from this level downward. That is what we're looking at the coming week. This is what we'll be looking at on Aussie dollar. Yeah, so just feel free to strike the comment section, tell us what you feel about this analysis. Same thing goes to our New Zealand dollar. Same approach. Mainly looking at the market, you could see that we're already having a higher low and lower low. The steps in the market doesn't change. Nothing changes it. The pattern in the market will not change. When you first of all see a market, glance at the market. Okay, nobody is a know-it-all, so don't just assume. The market has already formed its shapes for you, so what you should do is just to make best due of what the tools you have. I've already taken my trend. I had so many touches on on New Zealand versus dollar. These are crazy touches that eventually, when it break, you should expect a massive move. Initially, okay, let me point out about these touches made was just so significant. We had one touch here, we had another touch here, we had another touch here. Okay, I'll be doing this board. Sorry, let me zoom out. Okay, you could see here we had one touch here. The horizontal line is also there to give us our support. Same strategy on all pair, so you don't get confused. Maybe today you try this strategy, it's not working, tomorrow you try. No, stick to one strategy and use it towards analyze whatever pair, any pair. If you like, you're trading 20 pairs or 20 instruments in the market, just one strategy, so you don't get confused into what is called analysis paralysis. So now I have one, my touch. 2, this alone made it significant that this trend line was a significant one. 3, 4, and I had my 5th one. Eventually at the 6th one was where the break took place. This was where the break took place. So what next was I looking for? Okay, a counter trade has happened. What should I be looking for next? I looked at the step in the market. What was happening here? Initially, we already had a resistance level that cannot be broken again. A very significant resistance level. And to confirm that, what we had here was this. This move came down to this level here, went back up and could not get back to this resistance. automatically there is a change here that is telling us that wow, and eventually it broke our trend line. Eventually it broke our trend line. Now we saw that okay, there was a retracement back here. Just wait. At every retracement, the essence of using fib now is just for you to be sure that the retracement is not hitting above the 61.8 or maximum 50% percentage of the Fibonacci. So when we take our Fibo here to see, we will now have to draw our Fibo from the origin. Using 0, we draw our Fibo now from the origin. Always target the last, always target the tips. It won't change nothing. You're just trading more carefully. If you see what has happened here, we can see at this point now that this retracement which I drew initially at this point, at this very level here, was within the golden zone of 61.8. So Fib is just for you to target your Fibonacci is for you to target your retracement point. Now if you now take another horizontal line, technical line, to see, you could see very clearly that at this point there was a clear break of structure. There was a clear break of structure. This is like a support here, and this has become a resistance. So it is what a minor zone. A zone has been broken. So it's a valid level. A valid level has been broken. At this point, I immediately, got into the market. So these technical tools, they are not just for, they are not for joke. Bring your trend line. Your trend line will give you any time, any day. First thing I do, once I look my chart, I open my chart. First thing I do, I will bring my trend line. Once I bring my trend line, you can see here that Fib here, this thing just retraced from 100 back to 61. It didn't exceed 61. So we could see big red candles. The red candles represent the bearish. That the bearish were already dominant in the market, but we're looking for the best place to enter. The market is not about you making thousands on daily basis. Be able to define the market. Be able to, even if it is little of 50 pips you make out of the market on daily basis, that is something. You understand? So I want to believe you will be commenting on this market. We want to see your comments. This was where I entered the market from. At this point, you can see at this point I entered the market. I didn't even enter very early. I was supposed to enter, but that was the Asia. I don't like trading the Asia time, so I waited for this time. It was about this time I entered the market. 12 yesterday I entered the market here, and I closed with profits. Yeah, so I don't like holding trade over the weekend anymore, because trade might just come off the next day and spike up, take you out. So I usually close my trade every Friday. So you can see now we're expecting that okay, virtually if the trade come back to this level, we'll be having another opportunity to enter the market on the coming week, because the market is still going down. We are very sure that the market will still go down. So the coming week, we want to see resistance here. We want to see this market not breaking above this level. We want to see this market not breaking above this level of 59, not breaking above this level of 59,815, and eventually if this plays out, we'll be having another entry. Then we're expecting to have another entry here coming week. We're expecting to have another entry here on the coming week, and our take profits to be at this level. We're targeting to hit this level as our first take profit. That's about 59,400. 59,400 will be the next take profit. 59,400 will be the next take profit. So that is what we're expecting. We're expecting to enter if it does not move above this level of 59.15. The price volume does not move above the level of 59.15. What's my judgment concerning why I should take it at 59.15? Yes, in as much as it continue giving me a higher low and a lower low and does not exceed this level, and doesn't exceed this level where we have previous action that has taken place. You can see there previous action has actually taken place here. So this is my judgment that in as much as it does not bounce above, in as much as it doesn't bounce above what this box, above the box here, then it is still valid. It's still valid, and it will continue shooting downwards. Like you to give your comments on the comment section. I want to believe that this recap was very clear to anyone that will come across it. So feel free to give us your comments, and as well like, share and subscribe. Thank you till we meet again.